All right, so we're at the final pieces now. I got this thing positioned at the top, this final panel. This should be right. I'm going to mark it and then drill the holes. I think I'm going to mark both sides because this should be accurate. More or less. All right. Whew. Now, two things I need to do with the top panel. I need to find the right distances. I think, yeah, probably 3 for that one. And I need to put in the handles. All right, kind of got to do this from the top. Oh, this little stool is going to be my death. All right. Here we are. Fuck. Come on. Let's go. That works, except the sawdust in my eyes. Perfect. More or less. Good. So, here are the handles that I got. These are for, they're usually used for, what are they called? Amplifiers, I believe. But this will do us just fine. I got the measurements, 11.4, 10.4, and I mentioned earlier that I needed to be careful where the screws come in this way. This is way longer, but it shouldn't be a problem with bumping into anything. The main thing is it shouldn't be in the way of these screws then. So this, for example, will be a bit too far back, even though probably won't hit it, but I don't want it to be too weak either. I was looking at about 3.5, looks okay. 3.5. 3.5. This will be a little 3.5. 3.5. So 3.5, which means the hole has to be, fuck, I moved it. Which means the hole has to be 5.3. Huh, that should be easy to remember. So 5.3 from this edge, and that looks like about the same. 5.4 from that edge. 5.3, 5.4, and these measurements here, wide. 6 minus 5/16. About right there. Everything is moving. All right. So that should do. That should do. That's fine. Perfect. How's that? That works? Yeah. Sure. Why not? Okay. So this here should be about right. I'm going to keep this a bit wide. Doesn't need to friction fit. And I'm going to keep this one correct because I widened that one. Fuck. There we go. Oh, there it is. Well, this is not at all what I had hoped, but that'll do. Okay, how deep is that? Jesus. This is 19, right? Man. This thing just not sharp enough? What's going on? Okay, that must be it. Yep. Yep, that's it. Oh, that is cool. Huh. Yeah, well, that'll work. Awesome. Now I just have... That's really hot. 7 more. 7 more of these to do. It happened again. I was watching it happen. All right. So, are we taking bets? I'm guessing this is tight. Too tight. Yep. But, looks promising. Actually, curious. Are those curves okay? Wait, which way is this? Oh, this way. Curves look all right. Good. There we go. Alrighty. Ow. Ow. Yeah, more or less. That works. All right. Ooh, shit, that should not be there. All right. Cool. All right, let's put her up. It's... Why so dark? So I wonder if this works. It does work. Cool. There we are. It's got handles that I can use to lift it back when the floor isn't so slippery. And now I can clamp this down, drill these holes, those holes, and then I just have the last piece. The last little cross beam. Almost there, folks. Well, kind of. I mean, all my work is still ahead of me, but I want it to be square, and I want it to be flush. That's a lot to ask for, I know. As far as square, ah, shit. How do I measure this? Ooh, I don't need these. Those have done their job. Now this can do its job. So this is square like near. This is square. Oh, that is square. All right. That works. Is that flush? That's more or less flush. Oh, fuck. right. There we go. Now you might think, awesome, job well done. Not so fast. So now I got to take all of this apart again, and I have to put the inserts on a lot of these pieces. I think on all the pieces, at least on one side, I lost the inserts. And some of these pieces on both sides. But it gets even more complicated. There's a bunch of inserts in there. So these need inserts. These need inserts. This needs inserts. This needs inserts. This needs inserts on one side, as does the bottom panel. The back needs inserts on one side. All of the holes on this panel need to be countersunk. What am I missing? The inserts that I have to put on this and this get a little tricky because of that gap. So that gap there, which is now being masked by this guy, but it is there. I think that would be the smartest way to do it. Yeah, there's like enough for two here. So one on each side. Then I have the inserts. Yep. Yeah, that'll be fine. Then I gotta do the drawer. Actually, I could just make the drawer right now. The drawer is pretty simple. It just gets sandwiched on the panel. That might help me with some of the positioning. Okay, so I figured while I have my tools out, my woodworking tools, I ought to cut this lip that goes under the drawer. I had given plans to my friend that kind of had this cut in a certain way. I was going to have a bunch of these little strips, and I was going to put them together. And I had a couple extra on there that I was going to use for the bottom and possibly other parts. But it was basically easier for him to do this a different way. So I have to cut this one out myself, which is fine. But I don't have the same wood as the rest of the cabinet, so this is going to get wrapped in vinyl, also because the riser, that the whole front panel that goes on top is also a different color. So I figure the whole front panel can be vinyled. I think it'll just be a little easier. Actually, I don't know if this will be worse, better, worse. It'll be faster. Will it chip more? Ooh, shit. That will chip loads more. Let's not do that. All right. There we go. I was literally cutting it very close at some points, but that should do. I think I'm going to have a bit of trouble sanding the back there, but let's start with sanding the front. I don't know what that line's supposed to be. Oh, something else. All right, to the sander. Oh, shit. Wouldn't be the first time that happened. I'd say that'll do. So before we can work on the drawer, I have to clear some space. So let's do that. Way. Here's how this is going to work. Basically, I have these long screws. I think I'm going to do 3 of them. 1 in the center, 2 towards the edges. And this is going to keep the whole thing together. I believe I'm going, if I have enough, I still have to see how much vinyl I have. I should just try that now. I think I'm going to wrap this and the bottom, especially the bottom, because the bottom was just cut from a totally different piece. I did that yesterday, I think. But basically, it's going to come up through the bottom, and it's going to hold all 3 pieces together. And hopefully, it's going to hold all 3 pieces square. So the insert is going to go on this, over there. So my insert is going to go on the bottom, on the long piece, which means I'm going to need quite a bit of clearance behind it. So when I drill these holes, they're going to have to go pretty deep. And the only thing holding it will be the inserts. And that should be fine. And I should put something on this, like as a drawer, it should have like, I don't know, I have some like velvet, sticky velvet tack paper I might use. And what I probably could do, even, is just screw this on in between, right? Probably don't need anything on the sides, just 2 nails. Two screws. Yeah, I think I'll do that too. Just add a little bit of sturdiness. Not that, it's probably overkill, but still. All right, so first thing, I got to drill these. Then I'll clamp that and drill into that, and then up through both into the big piece. Okay. There we go. Looks good. Now I can clamp the whole thing. Okay. Even if I want to screw it, I need the vinyl on first. All right, well, that looks about good. Yeah, what do you think? More or less? Don't talk to your screen, I can't hear you. All right. Okay, so this doesn't have to go all the way back. I sanded to about here, so that's about as far as it should go, I think. Where's the front? Oh, it's way more than I need. Actually, I can probably get that bottom lip off the front here. But, well, one thing at a time, I guess. Okay, so we want to make sure everything is clean. especially. So this has already been sanded, but because it's been floating around the shop for so long, I do want to make sure it's, well, clean. This ought to move before I kick it again. Bubbles, by the way, on something like this, they can be gotten rid of. It's not always easy, and it's not always perfect, but there are ways to do it. You typically have to get the air out, because the vinyl wants to make a kind of a perfect seal. So you can either poke it with a very, very thin, very small needle. That sometimes helps. And then you just take like, I like to use a razor blade. You can kind of, with the back of the razor blade, you can kind of push the air out of there. Something else might have been good for this. Suppose I could have used wood shaver, but just slow and steady. This seems to be working. Coming up against another pretty big hole. This seems to more or less be behaving. I'm so worried of speaking too soon. Okay. You can also kind of try and get ahead of it. So if you know where a bubble might start to form, you want to get that part sort of flat. And then the rest should more or less follow. So, there we go. That looks good. It is not straight, but I'm going to call that a success. Now these corners, those are sharp corners. I don't know if that was wise to keep those quite so sharp, but there you are. That's where it is. And this sharp corner. Okay, now the tricky part. Okay, so I'll cut those, cut up to the corners. Now, I should have enough to get my T-molding in there. The T-molding should keep this nice and snug in there. Because let's face it, this is a hot mess. All right, so T-molding should help to keep that together. And this will be our first T-molding. Yippee! Are we ready for the T-molding? Because I'm a little terrified. So this side looks straight. I guess we're just going to cut a piece and, I don't know, hope for the best, I guess. That's very twisty. Jesus Christ. All right. So, I know I have sort of measured meters here, so I don't want to waste too much. But I do want some wiggle room as well. Can I cut this with scissors? Ooh, Jesus. I guess so. Okay. Well, I guess here goes nothing. That's in the way of everything. So let's see if, big if, I think it does. Nope. All right, there's going to have to be a little more, oh, that's going to chew right through it. I mean, that's fine, I guess, right? Yeah, okay. So I have this mounted. I don't know how much of that last couple minutes of footage I just lost. But anyway, here's where I'm at now. I've just sort of dry fitted this again to make sure that this height is correct. Because if I put the vinyl, and actually I don't think I need the vinyl. I mean, this looks pretty nice. I like this this black look once it's, you know, clean, obviously. I will need vinyl on this bottom part, or maybe I can just paint that black. I don't know. I think this is a nice touch with the vinyl, this little detail. That'll look nice with all the chrome stuff around it. But if I need to shave this, I need to do it off the bottom because the top is laminated and I want to keep the lamination because sliding in and out of this, that's going to want to wear. So this maybe should get some vinyl. Ooh, don't do that. So this looks all right. This goes down a bit. So if you notice a slight, like this comes in a little, this goes up a little, that should not be the case afterwards. Also, this is going to be on rails. So that should look nice and tidy. But you'll notice over here, there's a bit of play, which is fine. I think if I have like a millimeter gap at the top, that's absolutely fine. So I may knock this down a little bit more. But while this is here, I think I can vinyl this guy. And worst comes to worst, I'll just take it off and paint it. Okay, now, what I want is for this to give a little bit. So I want to pull this pretty tight, and I think that means that I'm going to have to unstick the back of this and just go for broke. I've already seen how quickly this thing breaks. Okay. So there's that. So that just happened. Cool. Well, that was clearly not the right approach. If you hear music in the background, there's like a festival or something outside. Or just a car with loud music, I have no idea. Ignore that. So I figured I kind of just needed a win. I wanted to do something that was fun, that would be iconic of sort of getting towards the end of this project or progress of some kind. And I realized a third fuck up. I forgot to do the holes for the trackball. So this trackball gets screwed in. Can I take this off? I mean, I know I can. Okay. Let's put this somewhere that it won't completely break. So this guy needs to be screwed in. And I totally forgot to do that. So, I could do it this way. I think I have to do it this way, don't I? Okay. Yeah, that's good. That'll work. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Where's the other one? Right there. Other thing is, I really hope I don't snag my fingers. Oh, that scared the shit out of me. All right, I'm good. Sorry, that's fine. Jesus. Okay, good, perfect. Oh, man. So right now, I'm mostly just worried about the square top. The square part on top being, what's going on? Oh, fuck, right. I guess that's gotta have to go now, isn't it? So this isn't when I wanted to do this, but gotta deal with these now. So what I wanna do is cut this, but I don't want to cut it so far that it's right at the edge, because I want some of this. Oh, I can do it this way. Cool, that works. Because I want some of this to go down. Okay. Ooh, shit. Fuck. That's exactly what I was trying to avoid. All right. So basically, I'm going to put a ring in here, and I want some of this to stay where it is. Because I don't want this to come up. I want this to be sort of flush against the insert that's going to go in there. Yeah, there it goes. So it's going in, but is it going to have enough room before it hits the actual plastic? And will it tell me that it's run out of room, or will it break something? No. That's good. Oh, all right. That's good. That's very good. I like that. Okay, problem solved.
Cool. I think I'm going to put all 4 of these in there and then take them all out. Just needed to make sure. I should cut these though, they're kind of long. Okay, that's good. Something went right. Fucking finally. One thing we can put in there are the cup holders and this guy. So, like the other ones, I want to cut some of this. This one I think I'll go from corner, 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 and corner. Yes. Now, this will have added a little bit, but not a lot of material. Good. Yes, that is perfect. Backhand, that's not wise at all. There we are. Good. That's good. All right. So just like the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know what the problem is. 8. That's the problem. I was cutting things earlier. Now the tip is all wonky fuzzits. Should make it a little easier. Yeah. There it goes. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, that was a bit too close to the edge. 14, 15, where's the edge? There it is. 16. Nice. There we are. That works. Okay, got those. I suck at trigonometry. Didn't get it. Couldn't understand why. All the other math I learned, I was great at calculus. Calculus, they tell you what you need to know and why, how everything works. Trigonometry is just learn this equation, apply it when you see this formula. It's not my thing. Anyway, back to us. So, I think before my camera crapped out, come on. There you go. I test fitted one of the joysticks. The red one actually goes over here, but that's fine. So the joystick works. Joystick's all set. This joystick might run into some issues. Get out of there. Fuck. Might run into some issues with this little extension, extrusion, whatever it's called. So it's really, really close. Also, I need to insert a panel there. So I did a test panel. I think I showed it earlier. If not, let's take a look at the test panel where I wired up, there it is, say hi. Basically, I wired up half of the buttons just to see if my iPack and and my Arduino Minis. Is that a Mini? Nano? Mini. It's a Pro Mini. So the iPack runs all the buttons, of course. The Arduino Mini runs the LEDs. So these are touch response. Now, the Mini, the program that I have, I'm going to talk about all this when I do the wiring. Suffice it to say, for now, that I need to undo all of this and put it in there. Not undo. So basically these come out with the LEDs. This is the only one that has the LED at the moment. It was just to test the Mini. I think there's 2 LEDs. And then I can take these out. And put these into the actual machine. Jesus, dusty in here. Cross. And X. Come on. Okay. So these little white dealies are the vertical. Like so. There we go. How's that? The important thing is that the membrane doesn't touch. All right, I'm going to have to sand this a little bit, but just to have a kind of a rough idea.